Where was I when Table Rock was on fire?
I got a phone call that Friday night asking if I could come out that Saturday morning. Didn't really know what to expect.
What is it going to be like? Is it dangerous? You know, leaving my wife and my family.
It was just a different animal. The Table Mountain fire was something I don't want to experience again. I got a call, I believe it was from Carl, that said, hey, there's smoke coming from the rock. And I was in Pickens at one of my grandchildren's t-ball games, so loaded up the wife and said, we got to go, and we headed this way. And you could see it.
You see the smoke driving in from, miles away, 30 minutes, an hour away. I get to the incident command post over at the Wesleyan camp near Table Rock State Park, and there's just thousands of people, hundreds of cars, dozens of bulldozers and other firefighting equipment. I mean, people from not only all across the state, but the region and the country are all here coming together.
Forestry Commission was on scene immediately, and then all the local departments. Helicopter came the next day from SLED, National Guard. Then the state command came, and they ran it until the federal team came in. The Table Rock wildfire moved so quickly and burned with such intensity that fire officials brought in a greater resource, which was a DC-10 air tanker to make some retardant drops. Greenville Water was working closely with the same officials to make sure that none of the retardant ended up in the watershed in such a way that would contaminate the water supply.
We had some Greenville Water team members that assisted with disinfecting the buckets used by helicopters to scoop up water from our lake to then drop on the fire.
The first day, there was a couple of us that went up to the top of the rock, tried to get hand lines around the top area where the rock was. We had multiple planes dropping on top of us, helicopter dropping on top of us. So
I was primarily working on putting in a hand line, which is scraping all of that leaf litter to prevent the fire from escaping outside that line, trying to contain it to just the top of the rock. But unfortunately, that did not work.
But once it got off the rock, we knew it was no containing it then.
I find Austin and we have our little crew and start these burnout ignitions. Tuesday of the burnout was once we finally reached the reservoir down here. It was David and I.
Me and Carl were coming in from North Carolina with DNR and some forestry folks trying to re-establish that dozer line on that northern boundary. We were in there for hours, and we did get one call on the radio just asking if we were okay, and they said it had jumped the lake, and we were like, okay, he means the river. But he meant the lake.
And about 4 p.m., David yells up to me. He's like, hey, Carson, come down here and check this out. I think the fire is all the way across the reservoir, which is not where we thought the wildfire was supposed to be. So I went down there, and it was so smoky across the reservoir that we couldn't really see it, but a big gust of wind came, blew the smoke away, and sure enough, I saw a little flame over there, which meant it had doubled in size right then. That whole fire changed at that instance. We had to evacuate all the surrounding communities over here.
Part of my job the following days was to be on watch out to make sure that fire didn't jump the line and reach a lot of development and homes that we have on this side.
We had a neighbor below us here that we sent two of our folks down because there wasn't enough fire crews to help everybody. So we sent two people down there, and they worked all day clearing out around that house. And when the fire got there and it backed up to it and went out because we helped them prep that area, the neighbor was very appreciative. She sent me a text message just, thank you so much. You helped us save our house. And it meant a lot. And there was a lot of houses over there that we were really able to help contain that fire and save those houses. If our crews hadn't have been over there, I don't believe they would have had enough people to stop that fire from getting in those houses.
A few days went by and the fire did finally start to subside.
We were able to keep it off of us and off of our critical areas.
No structures were burned, no people were reported injured, so just really a big, wave of satisfaction over everybody.
Part of that as it winds down is it's like, oh man, we're just gonna go, we kind of got to clean up from this now and look at what it's gonna affect.
We have about 1,500 to 2,000 acres that did not leaf out in the canopy. So complete canopy mortality, which is going to be detrimental to certain species, especially in the short term. For instance, our brook trout, which we have one of the last native populations in the state.
When that fire came through, it killed a bunch of the overstory trees. So we went ahead and just cut some of those trees and got them in the stream. That creates more structure for fish and then shading as well. And then going back and doing live staking in the banks, just trying to get anything back to stimulate more of that growth to get more shading up over that creek and get that water temperature down. Brook trout have been extirpated in so many of their, native home waters. They've been pushed up into these headwater areas. They just don't have much habitat left. But a big way of doing that would be through the hatchery. The end goal when we finally bring brook trout into the hatchery is to have them breed, and we'll do that, somewhat artificially. And the goal is to just get as many hatched out as we can and, survive to fingerlings that we can re-release into the watersheds.
After the fire, we deployed a bunch of trail cameras to just monitor what the wildlife species are doing. And, the months following, we've seen a lot of bears, a lot of bobcats, different bird species, just seeing things flourishing again. It makes me happy. There's a lot of stuff happening within the watershed, and things will slowly get back to the way that they were. It may take some time. In addition to using trail cameras, we increase water sampling in the reservoir and all the streams.
Something that you normally do monthly is now being done weekly, because if there was something happening, we wanted to capture it as quickly as we could. Numbers never really changed. Metals, algae, turbidity, total organic carbon, which is great. This new data we're getting during the fire, after the fire, and to be able to compare the two and basically say, okay, we're good to go. Your water quality has not changed. Pre-fire, post-fire, is still safe to drink, which is a good feeling, for not only us, but for the people out there, knowing that they can still take pride in the water the Greenville Water provides for them on a daily basis.
Greenville Water has some of the best drinking water in the country, and that is due to the pristine nature of our watershed. So if our watersheds are thriving, then our drinking water will thrive as well.
It's important to have diversity of all types in the watershed, and we can actually use the wildfire to our advantage, like a clean slate, to create the ecosystems that we want.
Now we just get to be stewards of it and manage it in a way that is hopefully sustainable for the future.
Greenville Water has progressed tremendously. Our sustainable future is not just water anymore. It's our property. This is 10,000 acres of natural habitat. When we see our land producing for the animals that are on it, then we know the water quality is going to be good. When you have a good ecosystem, you're going to have good water quality.